Okay, guys, we are live here in all of our favorite places. Facebook in the tribe, on our Facebook fan page, even on YouTube. We have you guys coming. I'm super excited about this. I want to make sure that you guys can hear us and that you guys can see us, and let us know and chime in where you are viewing from. Making sure all of our audio is together. How you doing, Alex? Where are you right now?
How you doing at this point? So in this balmy sub-zero temperature weather.
Yeah, you're like, look, I'm over it right now. Well, you were just in Florida, no?
Yes, I was in Florida not too long ago. So yep. So I'm like, we're just here in this wonderful weather.
I love it. I love it. I see our people, our viewers are coming in. Shout us out in the comments. Let us know where you are listening from. If you have any questions for Alex, please feel free to put them in here because Alex is an amazing conversation piece. So Alex Merritt goes by the Love Engineer, and she's going to explain to you why, which is going to be really cool. She's going to explain to you why. And so with that being said, it's just so interesting. We've worked with you. We've known you for a while through Nomadness Travel Tribe, a number of years, but we also turned that into you being a member into an actual relationship that we had with you when you came on our Love in Turks and Caicos trip, which crazy enough, this is like the reunion week. I just realized it because we were there for Valentine's Day.
So we were. That's so crazy. I didn't know that. That is crazy. I forgot all about it.
Crazy. Yep. So we are 3 years out from our Love in Turks and Caicos trip, which was absolutely amazing. And Alex came on board and she was talking to us and doing these amazing workshops with our ladies. It was a very intimate trip, a very small group. I think we had like 10 or less than 10 people on that trip. And it was very vulnerable, but it was beautiful to be able to have a space, particularly where Black women could come together and really be open and vulnerable about their roadblocks when it came to love, things that they've learned, what they're looking for, ways to implement it. So first things first, Alex, I want to know the title Love Engineer. Where did that come from? Because I think your story is so interesting.
Yeah, it's super funny. So, people are like, did you just make this up? I was like, no, it's not like Love Doctor. It's like, I'm an engineer by degree, so I'm a mechanical engineering, all of that professionally, but honestly, like I said, was in this space of trying to uncover for my own self, honestly, around like how relationships work, how they didn't work, what did I want, that kind of a deal. And actually the Love Engineer, I want to take credit for it, but I cannot. I was actually at an event and at the Minneapolis Institute of Art. I love that place. I love art, period. But nevertheless, I walk into an event and there was a group of people standing there talking. And when I walk in, I heard one of them say, "There she is." And I was like, what is this about? So I walk over to this group because I'm now curious. and some people, they were standing there talking and they were talking about Dessert and Discussion, which is the first event that I created. And a gentleman was standing there, John Hardy, I'll never forget it. And we were talking, he was like, oh, they were telling me about your event and all this other good stuff. I think it's dope, that's cool. He was like, what's your background? And you like psychology and all of this other stuff? And I was like, no, I'm a mechanical engineer by background. He was like, so you're like a love engineer? And when he said, I was like, that is the title I have been looking for 5 years at this point. And so it was basically, so it found me before I found it, but it has definitely stuck as it relates to, the way I approach this relationship space differently than your psychologists and social workers and things of that sort, but truly from an engineering standpoint, who believes that if you get to the root cause of any problem, you can then solve the problem. You're mute.
Sorry, I love that. It's such an interesting correlation, right? Because it's where the science comes in, which I think is super dope, right? Super dope.
Love. That's what I said.
Yeah, like
logic to love.
We forget all that because it's so emotional based, which is understandable, but there is a logic to it. So let's talk a little bit about Desserts and Discussions. What is that?
Yeah, so Dessert and Discussion was actually many things, again, just find me in this sense. Like, so Dessert and Discussion was literally created because I had watched The Diary of a Tired Black Man. That's literally what started this, Tim Alexander's work. And I thought it was a Medea movie that I had missed. It was not. But in watching it, I realized, I was like, oh, wait, is this how men view women, because I had seen, as I was watching it for the first time ever, did I see how the way I was showing up on dates might be interpreted not like I was intending to show up. And I wanted to get some people over to my house to watch it and to talk about it. Like, I wanted it to be co-ed. And because, again, I'm an engineer, I spent a lot of time with just me and guys. Matter of fact, my college roommate was a guy. And so I'd been in their space a lot. And I was like, I want them to come over because maybe this is just dude, and maybe they all feel this way. And so I was like, but how do I get people to come over to my condo? I'm not going to cook. They need to come here after dinner, hence dessert. And I want them to be really clear that this is not a potluck. This is not a game night. I want us to just talk, right? Hence discussion, literally dessert and discussion with Lauren, because I was trying to be extra clear with people about why I wanted them to come over to my house. And what I thought would be a couple hour discussion of watching it and then just talking and them going home turned into 1 a.m. of men and women sitting in the living room of my condo, just flat out being like, wait a minute, so you think this, or wait a minute, you need this. And it was just the most beautiful thing in a moment. But I still, even at that point, was like, all right, that was great. Thank you guys. And then people would see me out and they're like, when's the next dessert discussion? I'm like, next dessert discussion? I just had that one DVD. But I'm like, but I got some more questions if y'all want to just come talk. And literally that's how that would be born. And it would be one of the most powerful experiences. And when married people started to show up to it, that's when I realized that it wasn't a single people thing.
Right.
Women needed to understand how relationships worked. And that's how I realized that I had a gift in this space, and this was supposed to be.
I love how it seems like one of your theologies, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is I'm very big on feeling like words have weight. They have energy with them. And a lot of times we say things and almost put spells on ourselves that we don't even realize that we're doing, right? So an example that I would be is just like, yeah, I'm like searching for the one, and like all of these things, like we literally put limiting beliefs in our vocabulary. One of the things that I loved about working with you and observing you with the tribe on our trip was that you are very big on, it's not this search, this needle in the haystack situation. It comes from a level of attraction.
Yes.
What is that? Can you talk a little bit to that?
Yep, it is. So what got me down that path, back to memory, like I'm all about cause and effect, like what's causing this? And you're absolutely right. So I believe the scripture that says the power of life and death is in the tongue. So that fundamentally is my belief. But the word that influenced my entire philosophy as an engineer from the Persian poet Rumi, who says, your task is not to seek for love, but to seek within and remove all the barriers you've built against it. And so that one quote, as I started to unpack what that really meant, what that really represented, was eye-opening for me when I was like, wait a minute, what if our relationships weren't built on searching? Because everything is about searching, finding, this magic, elusive, uncontrollable falling. All of this was about you aren't responsible. If it happens, lucky you. If it doesn't happen, whatever. But Rumi's quote challenged this idea where it's like, actually, you're creating it, or you're blocking it. These are your options, right? And then I started to unpack and see in my own life, right, that reality of it's like, nope, as you just said, your words are your wand. We are literally creating a life.
Yes.
Based on what we say, and our relationships are we have these words like waved in front, like I'm looking for the one, which puts you in a forever search.
Yeah. I think that it's so amazing the way that you really come at it, and it's empowering to switch up the vocabulary. When you look at the words that you substitute and kind of like put in their place, it really is about moving from a more empowering space, from a powerhouse space. Now you talk about and work specifically a lot of the times with what you call powerhouse women. So what is a powerhouse woman, and why did you dedicate so much of your work to them, to us? Because I fall into this category. So why us?
Because I am us. Mainly because, again, like I said, I felt like there was a lot of space and effort dedicated to the woman who was willing to play a traditional role in relationships. Like there is countless amounts of effort if you are willing to shading, then you could, you can get into a relationship that way. If you are willing to do that, play it in the traditional way, serve a man, be with a man, have your whole life dedicated to the upliftment of a man and taking care of a family. Nothing wrong with it. But there's a bunch of resources available for those women, I believed. And so for Powerhouse Women, one, because I knew I didn't want that kind of relationship model. So I knew that early on in my life, I was like, oh, this is not for me. But more importantly, but I knew that love wasn't limited to that either. And so I am committed to Powerhouse Women because, again, one, that's why it's like Powerhouse Women and the men who love us, because I also am us. But realizing that we are creating a different relationship model that hasn't necessarily existed, at least not in the quantities that we are out here, right? I mean, so now women who are running companies, running businesses, running governments now at this point, right? It was just not the way it was. Was the traditional housewife, which again, perfectly fine, great. But for women who want this power couple model, this powerhouse model, it requires us to have some different skills. So that's how come I've dedicated my work to that, because again, often Powerhouse Women, she's gotten all the career education that one could ever hope for, but also it challenged or limited the connection education as well, right? It was often fear-based or avoidance-based is what many smart girls got. It was like, stay away from boys, keep your mind on books, not on boys. It was just all these avoidance deals. And so then when she wakes up one day and wants a partner, everything that she's been taught actually prevents her from being in a great relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can resonate with that for sure. So what is I Declare Love? Because you have this conference that's coming up. We want to talk about it. Who is it for? How can it benefit? I'll break some of that stuff down, but what is the guts of I Declare Love?
It's none of those where it comes through. This will be, I Declare Love is for powerhouse women who are ready for love and an amazing relationship, but refuse to settle, shrink, or struggle to have it. Again, like I said, if you are willing to do that, there are a bunch of methods and ways to end up in a relationship. But for women who are like, I am not settling, I am not going to become less than, I'm not going to hide my genius to prop up the ego of some man, or whatever the case might be. So it's for that woman who has this vision of love, but she has no idea how to bring it to life.
I love that. Is it women only this go round?
This go round is women only. So I do a lot of things in the co-ed space, and they will come back, fellas, I promise. Because I know, again, like I said, there are a lot of brothers who love Powerhouse Women. They do. And so this one, though, is just for the powerhouse. It's just for Powerhouse Women. And so in there, it's a 2-day virtual conference coming up at the end of the month. So February 26th and 27th, it's after 5. So again, I realized we got whole day jobs, but it's to help her uncover, Jessica, yes. It's to help her uncover a couple things. One of the things that are blocking the love she deserves and desires, right? Again, because again, for many powerhouses, again, attracting in a partner is not a difficult thing. Somebody always trying to holler. But then usually the men that she likes, she don't like her, and the men that do like her, she don't like them. There is a mixed match. So again, good news is that, hey, you got energy. It's like, how do we get this aligned to what you want? And so it's to uncover those blocks that are keeping you from the love you desire. The second one is we'll spend some time in helping her redefine what it is that she actually wants, right? Because again, I call it many people have this like 6 feet, 6-pack, 6 figures requirement, and then don't realize why it doesn't fulfill her, right? Again, so it's like you get that, and it's like, and loves God. Let me talk about that one. Let me not love the Lord here, but to help redefine what her true list is, not from her head, but from her heart. So
right.
That she's
I love that.
Clear about what her heart needs to be happy in a relationship. And then lastly, to get clear on how to communicate your desires. Because again, powerhouses, again, I've watched many of my clients, again, bad to the bone, right? They run in the game, but when it comes to the relationships, they revert to this person or this little girl who's afraid to ask or afraid to share, afraid to admit to what she really wants. And so therefore she often doesn't get it either. And so in I Declare Love conference, it really is about helping you go within to tap into the love reserves within you so that as you show up, you attract in this love. Like I said, and the least thing you end up with is this great relationship, but more importantly, you end up with this confidence and this clarity from a place of power as a place to versus a place of searching.
Absolutely. I have somebody here that's asking, so what were the dates for that? So let's go through the logistics of this for people who want to sign up for I Declare Love.
People who want to sign up for I Declare Love is bit.ly. Speaking of, did we, I meant to bit.ly /I Declare Love. Each one of the words, the beginning letter is capitalized. So bit.ly /I Declare Love. The early bird special goes until Sunday. So that's my Valentine's Day gift. It'll end there. And also as a part of my Valentine's Day special, because again, I think everybody should get a gift. And so you come to the I Declare Love conference, you also get to bring a girlfriend for free. So it's, come and bring your girl. So bit.ly I Declare Love is the conference. It's going to be super dope. It's going to be intimate. Let me make sure that we're clear about that, because again, Evie, you know how this goes. It's like you get in and you think it's one thing.
And then you start finding out everything about everybody. And I think the fact that you focus on powerhouses is going to be really integral with that too, right? Because this is something that I even find within my girlfriends network is when you are forward facing in your company, in your organization, in your institution, it's hard to find safe spaces to be vulnerable, where you don't have to worry about somebody picking up their phone and putting your shit out in the streets, or, you just having a safe space to literally just cry. Like I remember when we were working with you in Turks and Caicos, the things that came out of these women, that were very intimate and very personal. And those things stayed with the people that were in that space. And to this day have never been ushered outside of that space. And for me and the position I'm in, I mean, mind you, I'm here in this space with you guys opening up and I run this shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very vulnerable. Right. Yeah, it's very vulnerable for me to be in a space like that, because it's like they could take this and, blast this shit out to my community directly, And so just so grateful for the women that ended up on that trip, but also the safe space that you curated and created for them every single day of that trip, through the exercises that we did, from walking on the beach and releasing certain things into the ocean to, just the stuff that we did daily in the villa that we had. It's just, it's very important that there is a safe space for women like us, because it's rare that we find them.
Correct. Yep. And that's, again, like I said, that's where my heart is. Because again, we are held up as the strong ones, the ones that got it, the this, that, and the other. But on the inside of every powerhouse is a princess who just wants to be loved, but she's afraid at times to admit that, even to herself sometimes.
Yeah, that's real.
And so my heart is to create a space, because again, it's like you get to be a powerhouse and a princess, right? That's another title for nothing. It's like Princess Powerhouse. It's like to help this princess again, because again, people's like, oh my God, but you don't have to have a king to be a princess, right? You just got to be the daughter of a king. And everybody, right? Again, so no matter what your beliefs, again, you got here somehow. Period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to give, if anybody has any questions, you can absolutely send them through on the chats and we'll be able to pop them up. But I'm just, again, the dates for I Declare Love, what the women can expect. I want to keep reiterating it because we definitely have interest that I'm seeing pop up here.
Yeah. February 26th through the 27th. It will be in, like I said, in the evening. I forget the time, but it's like 5 to 10. I'm in the Central Time Zone. So you East Coast folks, I love y'all. Central Time Zone. So you do the adjustment. And then Saturday from 10 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So 11 to 7 that's for the general segment. For the VIP, and I would encourage you, again, if you're already at the early bird. So again, is going to go up to the regular VIP price will be regular price here on Monday. So get the VIP. In the VIP deal, we have 2 private receptions that are coming up. I have brother join. It'll be only women in the in the segments, but in the VIP sessions, I also have invited some amazing men who are doing work in this space as well. Because oftentimes that's the other thing. Powerhouse is like, we doing the work. What are the brothers doing? Believe me when I tell you, there are brothers, plenty of them, who are doing the work. There is no shortage of men. Let me be clear about that. And so in the VIP segment behind, after the general session, we will have we're DJ, drinks, have your whole thing, but literally a party, but within a Q&A panel. One of them be like, why men love smart women. Because again, I think it's important to hear from men about what it is that they admire in women. And then on day 2 of the VIP reception, we will do, again, Ask Alex Anything. So you'll have me privately to ask your questions directly. And so it's going to be super dope, super powerful. Again, and if you have a vision for love, and it's like, how do I bring this from my vision board into my real life? Again, the I Love Conference, you're looking, people like, waiting on God. No, you're not. God is waiting on you. Like, you have everything you need to do everything you want to do. And so I invite you to join us again. Like, and this is not about like, hey, where do I go get them? And we won't talk about where to go find men or none, because that's not the point. The point is how to, again, to find the love within you so that it becomes the beacon that pulls in the love you are seeking in every area of life. Like, again, everything gets better when you choose to declare love and to walk in love, and to remove the barriers we built against it. I was actually just on a live, and she's the the leader of like the Trill MBA podcast. She's like, am I gonna cry? I was like, here's how I feel about tears. It's like giving your soul a warm bath. So you might. And so it's okay.
Listen, I'm a crier, so I'm all for it. I love this. One of our Facebook users says, can she talk a little bit more about the friend option? Can you break that down for people who want to come?
Yeah. So when you register on the receipts, I guess we'll call it the receipt, on the confirmation page, you will get another link to send to the powerhouse of your choice. Again, the key here is, again, not just any woman, because again, I am very specific about who gets to come into this space. And so she fills that out. And long as she can attend both days of the conference, you can vouch for it. Because again, there's the opening question is like, who are you against the, right? Because I'm coming back to you. So you purchase your ticket and then you send her the link, and she'll be invited to join the group as well. So, but that's all when you check out and register. The confirmation page will have that link for you to share. Because again, I think love is best shared. And so in many spaces like this, again, we often always feel like we're on our own in this journey, like especially many of us that's building these businesses. Because again, you look around and there's very few people who do it like you do it. But I want you to not feel alone on this. So that's why I'm opening up. And like I said, that gift option will be available all the way throughout till I close registration permanently. Because I want you to have fun. I want you to have a system. And if nothing else, you got a love accountability partner when you walk out of there, to be able to hold you true to the things you commit to in the I Declare Love conference. And so it'll be like nothing you've ever done before. Like I said, I'm super excited because it's virtual. Again, you get to be in your living room doing this. Because again, the world gonna open back up. It will. And people like, I want to be dating. It's like, but let's be clear, when the world was open, people struggled to be in great relationships too.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something that's been different for me during COVID is I've been sliding in DMs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I never slid into DMs before. I would have people slide into mine, but like I've literally been strategic, and thus far it's been cool. And so for me, it's something that I'm doing. Another thing that I did is looking at people that are friends of mine, and as their friends comment on their page, if any of their friends strikes my interest or is somebody that I find attractive, reaching out to my friend to be like, hey, can you do an introduction, or like, what's up with so-and-so, so that you already have kind of like this middleman that knows both of you, which has been helping. But I've been like, I've definitely, because of like, I refuse to have this be my life story. And so, and so with me, it's like, I'm like, I am not opposed. I've been sliding into DMs of people. This is interesting. I've slid into the DMs of people that intimidate me, which as a powerhouse woman is very interesting to say, because normally the shoe is on the other foot. I have strategically, and I mean, of interest, it's not like a game, but I've strategically slid into the DMs and created conversations and continue to have conversations, particularly with men that kind of like, I'm like, oh shit, like I would have to maybe, even in all my gloriness, I'm going to have to get my shit. I'm going to have to step up to the next level.
That's a beautiful... Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. And I'll tell you why. It's because one, it again resets back to, it's a deservedness thing is what that comes down to, right? Because powerhouses are very clear. Like I said, for many men that she encounters, she's better than him on some level, or at least she goes in with that belief. And so what that creates, though, is a dynamic that many men, again, that many powerhouse men interpret as, he's intimidated by me. He's like, he's not, he's turned off, because that energy is felt before anything is ever said, right? This energy of, I'm better than you. But when you go after guys, again, that in your mind, for whatever reason, like, oh, this requires me to step, then it allows you to walk into it in a much more open position.
Yeah, and softer, and
you have to be.
I'm like scared sometimes.
we can often that dynamic switches is because, like I said, for many powerhouses, most of the guys that come at her, she's like,
yeah,
really? Yeah. Like, I'm talking to you because I don't have anything else to be doing right now. I'm giving you like, but in this way, it opens you up. But then also, because again, like I said, men are available everywhere they are. The I Declare Love, again, kind of helps you again to get really critical on, like, well, again, back to what do I desire? What do I need? Again, back to realizing again that there's actually nobody that's, you know, the guy that's for me is for me. This isn't a search. He will know it too. But I like that you're challenging yourself in that way. And again, because like I said, if nothing else, it sets you to a openness.
That
many powerhouses, again, don't have in her business or in her personal life, because again, she frankly is better than everybody she's encountering on some level. And she knows it. She won't.
Yeah. And I feel you on the worthiness part. Like, because self-worthiness is something that, you know, that I deal with all the time. People think it's crazy. And I'm like, literally, I have affirmations on my bathroom mirror right now that have to do with worthiness. Like, I
have a book on my nightstand, like, I'm enough.
Yeah. Like, I'm enough. And it's also interesting when you're in a space of, like, for me, you know, you built something that's so big and there's so many people, and then you get swallowed sometimes into that as well. And it's like, okay, who's Evita in the midst of all this shit? Like, let's sift it out a little bit. And so for me to be in a space where I am approaching men that are intimidating to me has been quite an adventure.
What's been the most, what's the adventure? Talk to me a little bit, because you know me, I got quite, I'm like, so.
I know, you're like, so sis, we haven't spoken.
I'm like, so when you say adventure, say more about, come to the I Declare Love conference. This is about to turn into Alex and a
right. The adventure part is I have butterflies, and this is even about like a person specifically, right? But like, I have butterflies about it. There is an intimidation. Like, you start to think of just like in this particular instance, the person definitely makes more money than me. He is also noted, semi-popular, semi-famous. And like, I was going in, I was like, oh, we in a pandemic. I was like, let me start hitting on some of these celebrities and see what the fuck is going on. I was like, YOLO, you know what I'm saying? Like, no boundaries on anything. But you know what it is? It's also, knowing that they've also dated in a celebrity sphere is interesting too, because it's like, okay, you are the Michael Jordan in your arena. I am the Michael Jordan in my arena, but our arenas are completely different. Right. And so being able to have the adventure of just like, yo, I'm supportive of like what you do, even though I'm not in that world. And yo, what you do is amazing and you're taking over the planet. And he probably never paid attention to this type of stuff in his life beforehand. Right. So it's like, it's a lot of exploration and understanding and picking up on certain things from like, I've never been somebody that's been huge on like people's money, right? Like, it's just like, who are you as a person and all of these things. But it's interesting to have a conversation and what that conversation is like when you are with someone who's up here financially too. That is like, it's a very interesting conversation, and it's a different conversation. It's fun, you know? But I just, I'm just writing it out, and I want to date because I know one of my things with dating is I get locked in on one person and it's like freaking, you know, laser focused and that's it. Right. So it's like, for me, it's about making sure that I'm dating multiple people, which is not my natural inclination. My natural inclination is to find somebody I like and be like, okay, it's you. Where in reality, it serves better to date multiple people, you know, and see what happens.
I agree. I like the sense of adventure. The thing that, as I, you know, because, you know, I hear and then I hear, right? So the thing hearing that I want you to be aware of, as hopefully you're coming to the conference, but even if not, keep this in mind, is that this idea of what's attractive, like what men desire and what is attractive to women. So for women, this notion of financial security is a fundamental that women require. However, to men of means, it is not a factor at all, right? They could care.
That is good to know.
They could care less. And so there is no sense of, so whereas we as powerhouses, you can look at a man and be like, oh my God, he's on my level because he makes X dollars, or he makes more X dollars. As a man, he's not thinking, oh, she's on my level because again, remind you, men are very much so comfortable and used to taking care of someone who does not have any means.
Right.
So the thing that is impressive to a man of means, or the thing that a man of means is going to be interested in, isn't going to be business talk.
Yeah.
It will be the things that he can't get from business. And so that is the point to lock in. And so while there are 50 million people in the world that will compliment him on his business skills, the woman that can compliment him on his humanity skills, that is what he's looking for, right? And so being able to share the part of, you know, back to your point around who is Avita with, you know, minus no madness and da-da-da. Sharing that woman. Because he could care less that you're also running a empire on your side of the world. Irrelevant, cool, dope, interesting. Kind of like, just like could care less that, you know, of what his skincare regimen is. We don't care. Like, I wish, hey, let me tell you what face wash I use. We'd be like, oh, okay. I assume you wash your face. I don't need to know your face wash, even if it's the best in the world. Realizing that money and business to a man is the equivalent of face wash to a woman.
Got it. Got it. Which is great, because like the other parts is what come out of me anyway. And I think it's what's kept the conversations going.
Lead with those.
Absolutely.
As you slide more frequently, slide with that part first. Because that'll allow it to stick. Because again, many powerhouses do this. This is where I learned and we'll talk more about this in the ID Claire Love Conference, this revelation around where this all came from, but realizing that the things that women are attracted to, powerhouse women have become in her life, right? So we become stable, we become financially independent. We have literally become what we are attracted to in men. And then we go to men thinking they will be equally as attracted in us for having accomplished those. It's not true. It's not what's attractive to a man, especially a man who has everything that you also desire. He could care less. So that's it. So just keep that in mind as you do this, because then it lessens the intimidation factor, because again, you're comparing it on a dollar for dollar, for lack of a better word, standpoint. But when you realize that what you offer him is femininity, feminine essence as a woman, he has no place to pull that from but you. So there is no intimidation factor, because you offer something he does not have.
I love it. Well, this is poetry in motion, y'all. This is it. So again, let's leave everybody with the details. So we're looking at February 26th to the 27th. Yes. Signing up for I Declare Love. It's also in the caption. So wherever you are watching us live right now, you can go right up to the caption of the main post and the link is there, as well as watching the video. We posted it up throughout our conversation today. Alex, it's been amazing to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, tribe. Thank you everywhere that this is being shared. Thank you for spending. It is Valentine's Day weekend. Again, give yourself the gift of love. Because again, a love gift from yourself is still a love gift. Period. So,
I love that.
So do that. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the I Declare Love conference, February 26th, 27th. Join us again. Get in and bring a girlfriend.
Yes, I love it. Have a great night and an amazing Valentine's Day.
Yes. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Bye.